And welcome to Maria's Taco Express for Awesmic City Poetry and Music. We have the usual suspects lining up here. And as always, we must start, as we do in all things, with Thom, the world poet.
Jack, you want to help me? How lucky we are to be in a place where there are poets, and down there in San Antonio there's a wonderful poet called Naomi Shihab-Nye, and this is basically appropriate to a restaurant. It's called A Valentine for Earnest Man, and it goes something like this. You can't order a poem like you order a taco. Walk up to the counter and say, "I'll take two," and expect it to be handed back to you on a shiny plate. Still, I like your spirit. Anyone who says, "Here's my address, write me a poem," deserves something in reply. So I'll tell you a secret instead. Poems hide in the bottoms of our shoes they are sleeping. They're the shadows drifting across the ceilings the moment before we wake up. What we have to do is live in a way that lets us find them every day. Once I knew a man who gave his wife 2 skunks for a Valentine. He couldn't understand why she was crying. I thought they had such beautiful eyes. And he was serious. He was a serious man who lived in a serious way. Nothing was ugly just because the world said so. He really liked those skunks. He really liked those skunks, so he reinvented them as Valentines, and they became beautiful, at least to him. And the poems that had been hiding in the eyes of the skunks for centuries crawled out and curled up at his feet. Maybe if we reinvent whatever our lives give us, we find poetry. Check your garage, the odd sock in your drawer, the person you almost like but not quite, and let me know. Now, thank you very much. There's a person called Devori, and Devori runs an open mic with Ron Cohen, and she wrote this poem called Don't Ask the Poet. Don't ask the poet why he wrote the poem. What happened in his childhood? What depresses him? What distresses him? What aggravates him? What irritates him? Don't bother him with your monotone sober questions. For I am the poet and not the poem. This verse is my offspring, woven in my womb, but now has matured line by line into his own man. I pour out drops of my blood neatly on the page in a careful design to be tasted and enjoyed and chewed and swallowed and digested. You didn't ask the artist if the color green has significance in his adolescence, or if chords in E minor played a major part in the composer's infancy. So please, don't ask the poet, ask the poem. The boy wrote that, and it's pretty good. What do you get? Yeah, whoa, hey, it gets the crowd like it. Now, there's a wonderful poet called Chris Ellery, and this is his one about McDonald's. Jack and I, we go to McDonald's for the Elder Coffee. The Elder Coffee, 50-cent coffee, that's it. And the restrooms. But, you know, coffee first, restroom, not the other way around. Because you never know where the McDonald's... Oh, I won't go there. So I did that.
Restaurants. Good coffee, clean restaurants.
That's right, that's right. And that's all I'll say about the Scottish claim. The boy is mopping McDonald's. An easy delight, don't miss a spot. Jolly as a brand new colouring book. I lift my feet, I'm in the way. No, you're not. He moves that mop as though creating art. Who says he's not? Ball cap, spectacles, double-X shirt becoming untucked. He spills art from his blue bucket. Art from his narrow shoulders and bespeckled mink. I think I'll call him Art. Art swipes his mop across the floor in graceful strokes. Art smiles, pleased with my attention. Art is thank you, beautiful, slender and ageless. I suddenly love art more than TV. Art makes me glad as heat on a cold day. Joy like the steam rising from his bucket. Art makes me live to know his unaffected confidence. Art excites me more than suicide. Art is wiser than war. Art never broke a promise. Art fills the trenches neater than the junk we throw away. Art mocks the dignity of tsunamis. Art wipes my spirit clean, starts the day over again, shows me that in setting out I've already arrived. Art's strokes evaporate upon the floor, but I remember the nimble caress, the easy arc of his mop across the brown tile, and that makes me the rich collector of his genius.
Yay!
Magic Jack!
Magic Jack and Thom, the world poet. Thank you.
Who's next?
We have the technology.
Hey, that's all.
Hey.
We have more machines than people.
Who's next on the list?
Who's next on the list?
It's exciting.
Yes. I'll do a little ditty and then we'll move on to Scott.
Great, Scott.
Great Scott! Who wrote, "What some power the great gifty oh, what some power the great gifty gives to see ourselves as others miss." Okay. Or the other Scott, "Captain, we need power in the nacelles."
I'm giving it everything I got.
I'm giving it everything
I can't get no more. She's about to blow.
Okay, enough of this.
No.
I'll just sing a song. Today, while the blossoms still cling to the vine, I'll taste your strawberries, I'll drink your sweet wine. A million tomorrows shall all pass away, ere I forget all the joy that is mine. Today I'll be a dandy and I'll be a rover. You'll know who I am by the song that I sing. I'll feast at your table, I'll lie in your clover. Who cares what tomorrow shall bring? Today, while the blossoms still cling to the vine, I'll taste your strawberries, I'll drink your sweet wine. A million tomorrows shall all pass away, ere I forget all the joy that is mine today. And now, one Scott Vanya.
Scott, baby, yeah.
Found myself today wondering what's real. I think everybody would probably answer that differently. Which is probably what makes all this so much fun. Is it the touch of a lover's hand on your face? Is it the look a child gives you when they're thankful for a cookie or a root beer? Is it the grind you put in during your workday? Or is it that thing behind the thing? The thing within the thing? The thing we can't see, we can't smell, we can't touch, we can't taste, but the thing that gives the heartbeat its rhythm and the song its power. I don't know anymore why I came here than y'all did, but I always know that it's good to be where I am.
Yeah.
And when you put the reflection of yourself aside and stare into the eyes of another man or a woman, you begin to see what's really real. That there are other people in the world besides yourself. You're doing right by them. It's what makes it worthwhile. I consider myself to be one of the most fortunate people on the planet.
Wow.
I'm in touch with my muse and my power, and the power that lives over me. And I have opportunities and spaces to share it with people I care about and love, and I'm loved back for doing it. And the financial debt is not near as strong as the debt that I owe that power that drives me forward. I do things because something inside me says, go do that thing. Go do that thing that I wrote, which is, I think, really touching. A long time ago, as a young man, I wrote a poem called Uncertain Expectancy. That's the little cool part. That's the part that, right as we speak, is giving me tingles at my neck. That you don't know what's going to come next. You don't know if, when you get in your car and you drive down the road tonight, whether you'll get hit. You don't know if I'm going to say this or I'm going to say that. You don't know what song you're going to pick out for the next thing you play. I remember being at open mics over at Thrice, and I would sit in the audience and I'd have stacks of papers, stacks of poems, many of which I was editing. And I was trying to find that just the right one. Try to find the one that takes the wave of the man before me and crests it over into a beautiful, splashy thing on the shore. And all day long I've been thinking about Melody Rose's tune, Children of the Wheel.
Yeah.
It's very easy as a human being to get caught up in the idea that it's a grist mill. But if you take the time and you really get that sense of merriment, that sense of playfulness, it's not a grist mill. It's a pinwheel.
Pinwheel, keep on driving. Oh, Mary, keep on burning. Pinwheel.
Just leave
I think we're all about the same height. Oh, they just sit down for you? Okay.
I'll just sit down.
That's okay.
Hey, thank you, Scott.
Yeah.
Now, Magic Jack.
Yeah.
Not the one you see on TV.
No, ATX. Yeah, TV, this is thing.
Well, I'm going to try something different tonight.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm going to call it the Scott V.
Oh, very
Yeah,
clever.
do them both.
Very.
I usually do one or the other.
Yes.
I don't usually do both.
Okay.
So,
Scott V, baby. That's you.
I'm going to do the Scott V tonight.
Scott V, it's on.
Both.
Yeah.
You read a poem and
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, do it.
Water's wake of destruction followed a wake of greed. Halloween in Austin was visited by a major downpour. Floods came and torrent filled the streams and rivers overflowing, expanding, rising, and so quickly during the night, while many were sleeping, maybe not expecting that the water would rise and keep rising. And out, and the creeks could not handle the rush of so much water. And out into the floodplains, some not covered in decades, filled and rose. Entire communities built in low-lying valleys and watersheds were suddenly finding themselves swallowed in a lake of panic. And some, not able to escape, were trapped. Some citizens died. Animals were lost. Livestock washed away. Vehicles filled with water, and some also floated off. The affected areas were closed off, and no traffic was allowed. No one could enter, and no one could leave. City officials were aware that the crisis could happen, that it someday would happen. And government made efforts to share the cost of preparations, but it only made half measures possible for the great cost that was involved. Buying up properties to prevent tragedy is a hard sell to anxious taxpayers. Why are these homes sitting in a floodplain, one wonders? Who builds these homes? Who allowed these communities to be established where rivers were bound to overflow? Who built these homes? Where are the enriched developers who planned these plots? Now that the money has been made, the profiteers have vanished. Families unknowingly staked their lives on affordable homes, and now they struggle with overwhelming adversity. So we reach out to them. We come and we offer our help. What small things can we do? Some hot meals, some dry clothing, some heater or hot plate, or blankets maybe. Every effort so much appreciated, and words can't express fully the gratitude that flows from those who are in need.
And we have a substitution on the field. It is Scott, Vanya, and Thom, the world poet.
Well, yeah, baby. Well, morning. It's the season. At the moment, 22nd of November 1963, the young hope of Camelot was shot down in Dallas City. I went to Dealey Plaza on the back of a motorbike run by a poet called Clevo Rainey, and I noticed then how close that Texas book repository was. It was almost It was certainly a visual sight. You could look into the eyes of the person with the rifle. And I thought to myself, well, that was definitely a turning point in this country, because after that time no one trusted. Trust was lost on that day. And I thought, well, you know, there was a poet at the inauguration, and there'll be a poet to mourn. So there is this one about the mourning time. For King, for Robert Kennedy, destroyed by those they could not save. For King, for Kennedy I mourn, and for America self-destructive, self-betrayed. I grieve. Yet know the vanity of grief. Through power of the blessed exile's trans-illuminating word, aware of how these deaths, how all the agonies of our deathbed, childbed, age are processed, major means whereby dreadfully our humanness must be achieved. Killing people to save, to free them, with napalm lighting routes to the future. He comes to my table and his hungry wounds and his hunger, the flamed out eyes, their sockets dripping, the nightmare mouth. He snatches food from my plate, raw fingers bleeding, seizes my glass and drinks, leaving flesh fragments on its rim. Vietnam, blood-clotted name, in my consciousness recurring and recurring like the obsessive thought many midnights now of my own dying. Vietnam, I think of the villages mistakenly burning, the schoolrooms devouring their children. I think of those who were my students, brutalized, killing, wasted by horror and ultimate loneliness, dying. Vietnam. Vietnam, oh, what a world we make, oppressor and oppressed. Our world is violent ghetto, slum of the spirit, raging against itself. We hate to kill, destroy in the name of human good, our killing and our hate destroy. Lord, riot, naked in flaming clothes, cannibal ruler of anger's carousel, sing, hey, nonny, no. Terror his tribute, shriek of bloody glass his praise, sing wrathful, sing vengeful, sing hey, nonny, no. Gigantic and laughing sniper on tower, I hate, I destroy, I am, sing hey, nonny, no, sing burn, baby, burn. Voice in the wilderness. Know that love has chosen you to live his crucial purposes. Know that love has chosen you, and will not pamper you nor spare. Demands obedience to all the rigorous laws of risk, does not pamper, will not spare. O Master now loves instruments, complex and not for the fearful, simple and not for the foolish. Master now loves instruments. I who love you tell you this, even as the pitiful killer waits for me. I who love you tell you this. Light and the distortions of light as the flame night dawns, zenith time and the anger unto death, and the fire-focused image of a man, invisible man, and black boy and native son, and the man who lives underground, whose name nobody knows, harrowing, havocing, running through Holocaust, seeking the sole country of his meaning. As a good woman howls for her boy in the smouldering, as the expendable, clean-cut boys from decent American homes are slashing off enemy ears for keepsakes. As the victories are tallied up with flag-draped coffins, plastic body bags, what can I say but this? We must not be frightened nor cajoled into accepting evil as deliverance from evil. We must go on struggling to be human, though monsters of abstraction police and threaten us. Reclaim now reclaim the vision of a human world where godliness is possible, and man is neither gook, nigger, honky, wop, nor kike, but man permitted to be man, and all the atoms cry aloud. I bear him witness now, who but the light of suns beyond the sun, with shrill pen revealed renewal of the covenant of timelessness with time, proclaimed advent of splendid joy alone can comprehend, and the imperious evils of an age could not withstand, and stars and stones and seas acclaimed his life, his crystal image and magnetic field. I bear him witness now, mystery, whose major clues are the heart of man, the mystery of God, Bahula, Logos, poet, cosmic hero, surgeon, architect of our hope of peace, wronged, exiled one, chosen to endure what agonies of knowledge, what auroral dark bestowals of truth, vision, power, anguish for our future's sake. I was but a man like others, asleep upon my couch when lo, the breezes of the all-glorious were wafted over me. Called, as in dead of night, a dreamer is roused to help the helpless flee a burning house. I bear him witness now. Towards him our history in its disastrous quest for meaning is impelled. And that paean of praise to all the victims of our time was written by Robert Hayden for Kennedy and King.
Thank you. I remember
Yeah.
November 22nd, 1963.
Wow.
I was 15 or 16,
Powerful time.
and when Lee Harvey Oswald was shot, a few days later, my father just had enough of it. It was all over television and radio, and we didn't have any other media at the time. And he just had to get out of the house. We had to get away from it. So we went out to Lake Travis and got in the little fishing boat and rode around there so we'd be away from all the media, just to have clear sky and water and the rocks along the shore. My father was born the same year as John F. Kennedy. It's hard to believe now that Kennedy would now be 95 or 96 years old. If he had lived, he may not have made it that long. And it was such a traumatic time for anyone who lived then that when years later people would make little jokes about it, a generation later, I remember some of the guys in the office joking about it. They just did not understand what those of us who lived at that time felt. It was, maybe the beginning of the end of the world. We had the Cuban Missile Crisis. We were still at odds with the Soviet Union. Who knew what was going to happen next? And then, a few years later, Bobby Kennedy was assassinated in 1968, Martin Luther King. And Dion, who had been a rock and roll singer back in the 50s, sang this song. Does anybody here, have they seen my old friend John? Can you tell me where he's gone? He freed a lot of people. It seems the good die young. I just turn around and he's gone. Has anybody here seen my old friend Martin? Can you tell me where he's gone? He freed a lot of people, but it seems the good die young. I just looked around and he's gone. Didn't you love the things they stood for? Didn't they try to find some good for you and me? And we'll be free someday soon. It's gotta be one day. Is anybody here seen my old friend Bobby? Can you tell me where he's gone? Seems I saw him climbing over the hill with Abraham, Martin, and John. Abraham, Martin, and John.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You know I was going to sing that song.
Beautiful.
And now I think maybe it's time again for Scott Vanya.
Yeah, Scott. Yeah.
sitting at Louise on Saturday afternoon, which in and of itself was a special occasion because I didn't get to eat out much. And my dad said to me and my two kids, he said, "Listen up, guys. This is something you need to hear. The first date your mom and I ever went on, or your grandmother, my mom, ever went on, was the day of John F. Kennedy's funeral. She had just shaken his hand in Dallas, I guess it was 2 or 3 days before. And I asked her, I said, "Mother, because we had been watching a moon video, did you remember where you were when the moon landed? When we landed on the moon?" She said, didn't compare to what you felt that day that John died. She said that just sort of changed everything. It predates me, so maybe that's the subject of this poem, or this piece, is that there are things I know. I've been trying to explain to my son the Cold War and what it was like to go to bed at night and not know if we were going to wake up the next morning. I mean, I remember walking into the hallways during bomb alert drills, and we would sit in little squatty, curled up, egg-like positions on the side of our hallways because we thought nuclear weapons might go off. The better part of my youth was spent worrying that it could all end in a heartbeat. And some threads stay the same. You know, my kids are going to know, they're going to tell their kids what it was like to have all their games talk about special ops, and black ops this, and black ops that, and terrorists, and Afghanis, and Iraqis. The dark threads, they change their names, but the thread doesn't change. That there's a part of human beings that wants to hurt one another. There's a part of human beings that says, "Fuck you, I'm going to kill you." I read a book once called, I can't remember the exact name, but it's called Metaphors We Live By. And they say in the English language, our language is dominated by militaristic metaphors. And if it's true, because if you try to think of a role model for peace, there's no word for it. You can't say a pacifier or a peacifier. But every day poets scream it to anybody who was willing to listen. Flowers, birds, butterflies, love, poem, God. It's good to know that inside the middle of the tree of knowledge is water coming up from the depths of the earth, and it goes into the leaves. And the dark side may be that the leaves fall, but the water never stops moving. As a physicist, I know the concept of light is that which transmits knowledge. Persistence, as Danny Stark said so well last night, is the issue. And sometimes I do sit and wonder about my mother on that fateful day that she and my dad went out on that date. And my dad wanted me to know it because it was just that circumstance that made me possible. Yeah. The day the Twin Towers fell, I came home from school. I came home from work. Because my son was no more than a month old. If you allow yourself to believe that you're the thread that weaves this strange tapestry called life, maybe you'll be warm enough to put up with all the ungodly stuff that goes on.
Thank you, Scott. All right, Jack had an idea. Tell us how you want us to set up. We might need to turn down these microphones because we might get some feedback from the roving microphone.
Maybe I could use that.
Yeah, but I mean, if we get it near a speaker.
Just take it on speaker.
Okay.
No, the whole speaker's don't get it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You know your business.
Oh yeah. All right. So what I had in mind was to do something a little bit different.
Okay.
Um,
25, 183.
Yeah.
Trying to get over into
You wanted to bring everyone up here?
yeah. So I'm gonna ask as soon as they get back.
Okay, sure.
So I've seen pictures of
Everyone come up here and join us.
So here's the deal.
Oh, okay.
Since we have
Yeah.
few people
Yeah. Want to look like a lot.
and lots of technology,
Yeah.
Yes.
this might be a good chance to do this kind of experiment. I'm sure you've done.
That's all.
So I'll play some music, and we'll all share in saying something, and we'll just have a rolling conversation.
What a clever idea. Come on, let's
What do you think?
I think
Yeah.
it's great. Come
Come on
on,
up.
Let's do it.
Yeah. Oh, I'm going to relax.
So we do this thing. We're all together in this place, and we've got some time to embrace. So what do you say?
What do you see?
What do you see?
I see Thom with a flashing skull, waving it high over his head. Flashing skull,
defying death and gravity. Defying death, the flying skull, and here's Scott in the air.
The spell you can may say more than just yourself. If you can prove somebody else. And Thom himself.
I like the darkness of the autumn breeze when it is cooling, waiting for the winter season to come by. In Texas you don't have the snow or ice, and Northwest always make you a shivering. Say you're in Rhode Island and you're waiting for the winter to come. You don't go down to the beach, no, 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 no one. But in Texas we got Galveston, where the little oily water slip in, slip in, slip in. And we always got good weather here in autumn Austin. Oh yeah, man.
But it's getting chilly,
Chilly, chilly,
getting chilly.
chilly, chilly.
November weather,
Chilly, chilly. In Texas, chilly, chilly, chilly.
these tacos at Maria's,
They
they have chili,
Marian I like to put on my green and yellow and black during the winter. I like to go out to the smoke shack and feel better.
Cause there are colors and emotions that you really feel devotion in the time that you're withdrawing from the world. We call it autumn when we fall. We got darkness colors after all. Darkness comes down earlier, the time slips back. Autumn we feel under psychic attack because the dreams are so deep and so dark. Oh, they're talking about the death of Kennedy and King.
It was a sad time, for all we know. We'll have a better time before we go. Jack, 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 Jack.
Sadness filled the air
Oh, Jack,
on the
Jack,
day that we heard the awful news.
all the news.
Of this shock
We were shocked
filled us all with despair.
about the news. Tell us, Jack, what you know.
We were young,
We were young.
we sat in our classrooms listening to the news that came on TVs.
Yes.
It came to us in black and white. We couldn't believe or say,
No, we couldn't.
oh, do this terrible thing to our president.
Who could do this?
Hey, good idea, Jack.
Magic Jack McCabe.
Wow, good. Yeah.
Thank you, Jack, for that experiment. That was great. We enjoyed that.
We'll tighten it up next time.
We'll tighten it up next time. Well, we had not rehearsed anything or written anything down. It came out very well. We were talking about the day President Kennedy was assassinated and where we were. I was in the high school cafeteria, and after Dallas, he was going to come to Austin.
That's right.
And they announced it over the loudspeakers that he was assassinated. They were letting school out, and that was the end for them. Do we have any poet?
Mollie's in there.
Mollie is in the house.
Mollie.
Are you ready, or do you want us to skip a turn here? Mollie, Babali, Banana, Mollie, B5 for Mollie. Here she is. Watch out, folks. Watch out, world. She's on her way to the microphone.
Take the stage.
She's taking the stage like Brett took for Richmond. Here we go.
Yeah. Civil War.
I hope everyone notices my new glasses. They're groovy blue.
Can you see through?
Oh yeah, it's a groovy blue planet. Sure it is.
What you got there?
Let's find out. Close the coffin, nail down the lid. I've been buried in my grave, but I wait. I know someone will come for me.
Sure.
I am alive.
Okay.
Now I hear it. My rescue coming into the earth. The lid's torn off. Something beautiful. Something horrible. I hear words whispered, promises of love lasting forever.
Yeah.
I am the vampire's prize in the cold of the night.
Yes.
Woo!
Wow. Our first prize, yeah. What else you got?
I got some.
Okay, bring it out.
I once knew a woman who loved to fantasize.
Oh.
She would sit for hours
Yes.
beneath the flaming sky,
Okay.
dreaming about the flowers and the breeze against her crack, wishing she had bulldogs and black men on her back.
Okay. Well, thank you. No, you don't know. Okay, wake us up.
The very adult Mollie.
Mollie, yeah.
Now, at the top of the order again, Thom the World Poet.
Okay. Hey, stop. Wow.
He was just taking a break.
No, you can't.
I can't take a break. I'm not allowed to take a break.
Nobody stops breathing. This is a parable, ladies and gentlemen. You've heard of powerful parables, haven't you? Yep, just say yes. Well, this is about the fact that you start with something, like a lot of people think that Mollie, they think that poetry is just a monologue, right? Blah, blah, blah.
No, we're not monologuing.
No, we're conversing, aren't we? We're conversing.
We're
We're conversing, congregating,
and enlightening.
enlightening, that's right. I pay the utilities bill, so we know that we can afford the lights. But this is, I do poetry each day, I send down. Sometimes people like Scott respond in poetry. I have a friend who used to do the literate column in the Austin Chronicle, and he went away to get happy and married in New Mexico. And it made us a more epistolary conversation, a connection, Mollie, whereby I send poems out, or he sends a poem out, and we dance poems, alright?
Are you talking to me?
I'm talking to you.
I'm not very sharp tonight. What did you just say?
You're present, that's all. I just said that we do poems and a conversation.
Okay.
Okay, so I talk, you listen, you talk, I listen. Now, he said, yeah?
Is Jack Daniel going to say anything?
Jack Daniel, he should stand there, he's an extra.
Oh, okay.
He gets paid nothing. We get paid conversation. So this is the original poem by Rick, and then my response, and you'll see what happens after that, because one thing leads to another. Place it down. Place it down, take it up. Stones came to sing of their emptiness. Atoms and electric flesh. Monkey boys fill their pockets with the thunder of their mothers' hearts. She said, we have come to be ashamed that we have souls, but we sow little birds to the dust. floating in the light of that faraway room. Teddy bears and monsters throw roses on their graves. How tender they break. Give them something that can't be saved nor stolen. Something to hold apart as not theirs but not ours. Something we don't need to name. And my response was that we are weeds and flowers. So we are emergent, Mollie. We are emergent. We are little petals on the world flower. Yeah. Emergent buds blossoming. Do not know their time is passing. Bloom bold, bright, then fade from sight. Watch as weak, thin shrivels early light. Pass, phase, take us as we corrugate. Crinkle skin dreams us aged. As we bend our elder weight, head down. Penitence and prayer and supplication to be allowed to stay. Before our petals are stripped skin away, and only our aura aroma remains. Bone crust drops curved colours. Thin stalk has no more to give. We are only useful to others when we live.
Yeah.
When we give. That's a better one, yeah. So I sent that out. And then I got a response from my friend Alex. And she said, I like that. And I said, do you know that you are working with those flowers? Because she works in a hospice. And she sees the flowers fading. So I said to her, you see the petals fall where you work. Your love and art extends their brief flower shelf life. Live on. And her poem said serendipity. Today we painted flowers. Her time on earth is short, but she is creating images that will live on after she is gone. We paint side by side for friendship, not need. She laughs and cries readily. Emotions live on the surface. Control is difficult. Holding an ergonomic brush, a challenge she has won. Her lines wobble beautifully. I will miss her when she leaves, but I will enjoy her while she is here. We both live in the space between life and death. Today, she said, Alex, you bring out the best in us all. The truth is, they bring out the best in me. Alex Christensen.
Do you want to take a break or, because you're up next.
He's up next.
Maybe
Whoa!
maybe this poem will lend itself to
Let's
music.
work together on this one.
Deep time.
Yeah.
I have come to know a deep time. Not the deep time of natural history, but the deep time of my own history. 20 years is a long look back.
Yeah.
40 goes back twice as far. 60 is just too much to imagine. I was there though. I was here.
Yep.
I have been here all this time.
Yep.
More than 2 years after World War II, more than half the 20th century. Harry S. Truman,
Wow.
Dwight David Eisenhower,
Wow.
John Fitzgerald Kennedy,
Oh, yeah, bang.
Lyndon Baines Johnson,
He did it.
Richard Milhouse Nixon,
Bad.
Gerald R. Ford,
Oh.
James Earl Carter,
Yep.
Ronald whatever Reagan, George Herbert Walker Bush,
Bush.
William Jefferson Clinton, George W. Bush, Barack Hussein Obama. That's how long I've been here. I keep on going, so far to the future. There is still time, there is still hope. Come on, Hillary. Next, Scott Vanya.
Yay,
Is
Scott.
there already?
I agree with the Thom show, so I'm gonna see if I can do a Thom show too. You know, I'm gonna listen to this is so fun. I know it's Jack. This is sort of fun. So. You have no idea. how do you speak to a world that wants to put everything into a conch shell? Or on a chessboard?
Yeah.
You accept all of it.
Yep.
The good, the bad, the ugly. Good Western. The greatest musicians that I have ever known, the greatest poets I have ever known, are sitting on this patio.
Yeah.
Woo!
Fun to see.
They're the only poets I know because I know them here and now. And that's the only place we really ever are. The reoccurring thought I have is if you really go into the moment of where you're at, it's a little space just next to you, and it keeps telling me, you are here and you will never leave here. Now, you might think that's sort of discomforting, but what it really is saying is the here and now is just to the right of your ear or just to the left of your ear, and it's been there the whole time anyway. Now, I have experienced that driving down the freeway, listening to Marley's One Love, or Three Little Birds, or laying on a couch. I think there's a place in our minds, and maybe that's what Aristotle was talking about, the cave wall. But the cave wall has diamonds in it. Poets. They put their hands, they get their tools out, and dig those little diamonds out, and give them to whoever they see, wherever they go. In the upturned smile at the guy who flips it off on the road. At the lover who breaks your heart. At the guitar that doesn't know where it's going. And I'll be stepping aside here in a moment. But I just wanted to warm this seat up. So the next person who comes up can carry it to the next moment, and the next moment, and the next moment, to where by the time we go home tonight, our heads will be so full of diamonds, we won't know what to do with ourselves. Thanks.
Jack is next. He may want the microphone lowered when it was.
Oh, that's good.
Okay. Magic Jack, everyone.
Okay.
I'm not going to do the Scott V this time. I'm just going to read.
We're going to do the R-U-M-I. 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 I know.
So I already read the one new thing that I had, so I'm going to do a little bit of... do we have room for Rumi?
We have room for Rumi.
Room for Rumi?
We have room.
This is called Don't Go Without Me. Dancing in ecstasy you go, my soul of souls, don't go without me. Laughing with your friends, you enter the garden, don't go without me. Don't let the sky turn without me. Don't let the moon shine without me. Don't let the earth spin without me. Don't let the days pass without me. The two worlds are joyous because of you. Don't stay in this world without me. Don't go to the next world without me. Don't let your eyes look without me. Don't let your tongue speak without me. Don't let your hands hold without me. Don't let your soul stir without me. Moonlight reveals the sky's bright face. I am the light, you are the moon. Don't rise without me. The thorn is protected by the rose. You are the rose. I am the thorn. Don't show your beauty without me. I am the curve of your mallet, the bits of stone beneath your chisel. Don't strike the stone without me. Don't move the chisel without me. Oh, joyous companion of the king, don't drink without me. A watchman on the rooftop, don't stay up without me. Woe to those who travel alone. You know every sign. You've walked upon every path. Don't go without me. Some call you love. I call you the king of love. You are beyond all imaginings, taking me places I can't even dream of. O ruler of my heart, wherever you go, don't go without me.
Yeah, Rumi, yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Rumi.
I had a Rumi in college.
Oh.
We're always fighting over the thermostat in the room. Next is our own Benjamin Franklin, David, Lester, and Young. David Lester Young. Here he comes, walking down the street. He gets the funniest looks from everyone he meets. Hey, hey, it's Ben Franklin. And I don't know about
Monkey around. He's too busy.
I found out where capital goes around the city, and that's as bad as Mopac and all that. Composition, contemplation. What sentence will justify existence when our grave words will be heard upon passing letters on one's journey within characters' great winding down time? Tick-tock haunting heartbeats, bare feet walking compositions, wail contemplation. Within sea mist, shore hail, washing ashore celestial plains, past, present, future, presence. What was will be, the to be or not to be, flower and germination of intuitive insight, pollination. That fruition, birthright, core, miracle born within birthrights, PowerPoint presentation, writing with poetic sensations that will flower creation built on wordsmith accentuation. Pronunciation, ecstatic quill within forevermore chills, the poetic nos lascor, aura persona highlight, aurora, within poetry's declaration of independence, proclamation. We are forevermore poets of the free speech wills, deed within Bill of Rights, free press, wealth power. The freedom, democracy, liberty are not obscenities, but this dire imperative birthright elocution of necessity with a histrionic stand-bearing constitutional composition, contemplation. Sirens all over the place.
Is that it? Sorry about that. Sirens calling Ulysses. And now once again, the very well-spoken, the very energetic Mollie.
Hey, he baked you up. He baked you up.
Why?
Mollie!
If she would trim her bush, I could see where to push in this exotic tease of pleasure. Never mind a borrowed bush, or my lust or leisure.
More!
Bushwhack.
But enough about the president.
Oh, you Frankenstein, thrown together before recorded time, screwed on ego with a little help, muscle, electrified penis that pushes you around, a mind of its own drags you close to the ground, a monster with nuts and bolts zapping us until you overamp, blowing your sperm fuse, all in your pants, in parks, and covering restrooms with your particular brand, the brand X of centuries. Yeah. The erotica of the bridle and bit. Straining to jump closer to you. The bit forbidding it. Clean hoofed onto a track of dirt. I practice my high stepping, bridle and bit tingling my skin with anticipation of you on my back.
Oh, tattoo.
This is from my book. It's on page 3. Had trouble finding page 3. There are still animals on the plain, running off into a fiery sunset. Giraffes on top of a heat-soaked earth. A sight like no other, like to ever be seen again. In the time of pyramids, heaven on earth, all gold and gods, till the one I met held me, drank from me, and dipped me into immortal life. Each life like no other. Centuries of kisses, centuries of death, brings with it the mysteries of love and life eternal.
Oh, yes, please. Oh, yes, yes. Mollie.
Go home if you make me get up there again.
Mollie, the family poet. Oh, give me land, lots of land under starry skies above. Don't fence me in. Let me ride through the wide open country that I love. Don't fence me in. It's a little ditty written by Cole Porter, believe it or not, for Roy Rogers. Strange combination there. Well, I noticed that Thom was champing at the bit.
Chomping.
No, actually the term is champing at the bit. He chomps at the bit. He was ready to go. Be energetic, as I was saying. Thom, the world poet. And Magic Jack.
One thing that distinguishes the un-United States is the number of people in detention. You're not in detention, you're free. But there are many people who are put in storage like furniture and forgotten. This is a small anthology just released from girls in detention in Houston. You will never meet these girls. They age from 12 to 17. I'm going to read their I ams to you, and then give the book to someone who actually cares enough to contact the girls in prison or write to them, because when you're in jail, all you got is your poetry. So would you like to hear from Katharina, age 15, Isabel, age 15, Adriana, age 15, Kerry, age 16, Tasha, age 14, which one? Annabelle? Isabel, yes it is. All of these start with the identities of who they are. I am. I am a girl with a strong heart. I wonder how life is out there and how my family's doing. Especially my dad, I haven't seen him for years. I hear my thoughts and girls talking. They're really nice with big hearts and I love them. I see only girls around me. I want to go back with my family and change my life. I pretend that I'm not sad and hurt and that I don't care. I feel sad and bad at the same time. I worry about how my family's doing. I cry that I feel so lonely. I'm a very cool girl. I understand that I deserve to be here. I say that I'll do my time here. I dream that one day I can go back with my family. I try to not cry and think a lot. I hope that my mum is fine. I'm a girl that needs her family close to her.
Yeah.
So Adriana, age 15, Kerry, age 16, Tasha, age 14, Kryna, age 16, and Jasmine, age 13. Jasmine, okay, it's a very different one, this one. I'm a powerful basketball player. I wonder if I'll always stand tall. I hear a crowd of people telling my name. I see myself singing and enjoying the fame. I want to have peace in my life. I pretend I am on top of the world. I feel like I can do anything I try. I touch my heart and tell myself don't cry. I worry about my family and ask why. I cry myself to sleep each night. I am powerful beyond measure that I can't fight. I understand I can change my life around. I say to myself, stay happy and don't frown. I dream that I am royalty and wear a crown. I try to do my best in everything I do. I hope that someday I can live my dreams. I am everything that I hope and seem. Jasmine, age 13.
Last one for you.
Miriam, age 15. Miriam, age 17. Alexis, age 16. Miriam, age 15. Alexis, it shall be. Remember, my trust is that someone will take this with them and contact these poets, poet to poet, to let them know that they can be heard out here. I am Alexis. I wonder when I will go home. I hear a voice saying to get my act together. I see my mother crying. I want to tell my mother I'm sorry. I pretend to act like I don't care. I feel like I am in this alone. I touch my mother's hand. I worry about her pain. I cry because there's nobody there. I'm a growing person. I understand that I can be disrespectful. I said that I don't love you. I dream to take it back. I try to close my eyes and pray. I hope it all just goes away. I am my mother's child, Alexis, age 16.
Thank you, Thom and Jack. Hey. This is from my play and novella, Among Amazons, set during the disco era in San Francisco, California. San Francisco, open the golden gate. It's available, ironically and coincidentally enough, at Amazon.com. 1977. It's 1977 and still you can cut the grass smoke with an axe. Bodies reeling, weaving, dipping, rocking and sliding toward oblivion. The world on the verge of what? More tomorrows? Certainly. It will do its 5 billion revolutions. It will last the sun. We can sleep our nights in peace for that, but that only. All else looms a blank. All will pass this week or next or the third millennium. But the now, oh, but the now speck in time, a moment's eternity. This is the eve of what hidden dawn. The whole 4 billion souls wait for a trolley already late. Thank you. Now, up on the magic reel is Scott Vanya once more.
Scott.
Let's see if I can
This mic and this space is a place to do the things we love to do most. So for me, that's a pretty holy thing to do. So I'll try to do the best I can and share with you all what matters to me most. I love words. I love the fact that if I say something to myself a different way, it changes what I was thinking. I love the fact that if I say something a certain way to somebody and they hear it, it changes their way of thinking. It is so easy to pass over people, but it is also so wrong. There is a tradition in our culture to sing the blues, and we've forgotten what singing the blues means. Singing the blues means you dig down into your soul and you feel the pain, not because you hate the pain, but because you know everybody else out there has it too. I've struggled long and hard to convert my blues into reds, and it is not what I want to do. It's so easy in a world where we exchange things for the sake of money. I have friends now and I have ex-wives now who give me things, I think, because they see value in the fact that me being myself is a good thing. And me being myself is being outspoken, honest, true, obvious, and not oblivious to the fact that others suffer from the thing called self-denial of who they are. I am not saying I'm not prone to fantasy. I like to think, and this is, I think, what I'm getting at. This so far it's been, as Thom put it, the obligatory preamble. I can envision and I can see a world where people love everybody.
Yeah.
So, as another friend from a long time ago who called himself a pragmatist and said I was an idealist, how do you get from here to there? Well, when you are yourself, when you are yourself and you take what is in between your ears and allow it to come out, then others are able to take that into their ears and channel it into them. It's so easy to get distracted by things like the dishes. I told my kids that I had learned a great trick. That the way to keep your dishes from getting moldy is to quit watering them. So they sat for a month.
They believed you.
It was great. No, it was true. For my son's birthday, I gave him the fact that I washed the dishes.
Woo.
I also gave him a clean closet so he could have his private space, which 2 days later he thanked me for. I told somebody, I guess I told a lot of people because I sent it to lots of people, that I pray now. But that's one of those words where if I had my way, I would reconcoct it or convert it in people's minds to understand what that means. It is the desire, as I told Ian, my son, who's now 12, that when you're sitting in a car, and I think he was about 8 at the time, and you wanted a blueberry muffin. No, we were in the car over at Randall's, and he wanted his mom to bring him a blueberry muffin. So I told him he should pray for it. And he said, well, what do you mean? And I said, well, that means hoping that you come to it. Yet were it not to arrive, it would matter not at all. It graces us to be in a place where people care for one another. To me, there's no greater blessing than that. And I guess I'm just taking this time to say thank you guys for listening. It's an honor and a privilege to serve y'all. That's in my mind. Thank you.
Thank you, Scott. Scott Vanya, everybody.
Yeah.
Okay. The next order is Jack, David, and Mollie.
Oh, yeah.
Magic Jack. You can get it for $19.95 and make phone calls all over the world for $19.95 a year. Thank you.
Oh, that's the other Magic Jack. I'm a little bit more expensive than that.
Absolutely priceless.
Yes.
You travel a lot, though.
Priceless. What did you say?
You travel a lot.
I do travel.
Gets around.
A little more room for rooming.
Yeah.
Song to my soul. Remember what I said. I said, don't leave, for I am your friend. In the mirage of this world, I am the fountain of life. And even if you leave in anger and stay away for 1,000 years, you will return to me, for I am your goal. I said, don't be content with worldly promises, for I am the tabernacle of your contentment. I said, do not go upon the dry land, for I am the sea without a shore. I said, O bird, do not fly into the hunter's net. Come toward me, for I am the power that moves your wings, that lifts you through the sky. I said, they'll capture you and put you on ice. I am the fire and the warmth of your true yearning. I said, they will cover you with water and clay. You will forget that I am your taintless beginning. And I said, no. No one can tell how my work will manifest, for I create the world from all sides. Let your heart's light guide you to my house. Let your heart's light show you that we are one.
Hey, Winnie, yeah.
Thank you, Jack. Coming up next is our own Benjamin Franklin.
Benjamin, yeah.
One day he looked in the mirror and realized he looked something like Benjamin Franklin. And also someone had once told him to go fly kite. So, this is David Lester Young.
Who else could it be? You got to remember, when I lift my leg, and neither Captain Morgan or old Big Ben's got to go. I got a wireless mic went in and splurged for that too. The one that goes around the ears.
Oh, one of those.
Oh, cool. Wow.
So, we'll get there.
Yeah.
I've also been looking at getting a smaller amp. They had a Fender for $100, and it had the USB port on it.
Cool.
So I'm thinking I'll integrate that into the computer and then try to get my act together.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Techno-Ben.
Yeah, Techno-Ben. Very good. Ben.
All I know,
Feel free to wander around if you use the wireless mic.
Can't wander too far. You
Don't worry about that. I'll cover you.
Desert alliteration. Streaming sun blistering, storm thundering on the horizon, sounding off with anticipation. Streams of dust baking, spiral seam bleached off white. Fast moving wall of water flooding from the mountain hideouts. From torrential downpour comes foaming suffocation, fearsome flow of devastation, blossoming wasteland of renewed life, brilliant colors of revitalization, budding cactus flowers, bursting, hitting the vegetation, brief display of a desert paradise, winds drying up moisture, washing away teardrops, whispers again hiding, weather blaring in heat strokes. Brief display of desert paradise, winds drying up moisture, washing away teardrops, whispers again hiding, weather blaring in heat strokes, wounded plants again wilting. Night sky is so clear, crystal clear, never has so many stars been visible. Noises from animals awakened, noting the evening chill, nuzzling their existence. Full moon rising to coyote howls, flames from a campfire crackling, frames of words creating vivid images, finding truth in someone's expressions. For tranquility is in the moisture of living. Nectar. Sail upon me an ocean of wildflowers, pulsating in sunshine and dwarf butterflies, that sail the currents that germinates time on Austin atmosphere. Shades and shadows in reflective memories. Grains have furrowed the evolution of birth. Upon spring germination sows the seeds, where youth is cultivated upon prone birthrights, that blossoms in pollinated contribution in deeds. When trails and tribulation grasp the grapevine, upon those fibers that bears the fruition of time, to reflect backwards, seeing life as a vintage wine, sipping alike a prized poetic bouquet of rhyme, living high, smiling, shimmering, full of effervescence, upon creative, cherished heartbeat embers of melodies, that atmosphere, temporal clarity of artistic influence flows on shades and shadows of reflective memories. Thank you.
Once again, the shocking, the effervescent Mollie.
Hey, Mollie.
Why, is that better?
Whatever.
Is this more fun?
No, I won't be able to hunt you.
I want some power. Power, Mike.
Close the coffin. Nail down the lid. I've been hurried to my grave, but I wait. I know someone will come for me. I am alive.
Yeah.
Now I hear it. My rescue coming into the earth. The lid's torn off.
Yeah.
Something beautiful.
Uh-huh.
Something horrible. I hear words whispered, promises of love lasting forever. I am the vampire's prize in the cold of the night.
Yep.
I've waited so long.
Yeah.
I've waited so long. I put my hand to my throat and trace the place where you first loved me. My fingertips disappear easily.
Yeah.
With the memory comes the horror. A life lived, my life tangled without hope, lies in a coffin of thorns, lies waiting for the darkness, waiting for the lover, the hunger of the passion to unfold. I put my lips to her throat and blind need takes over, offering life to the weak.
Yeah.
And my closing poem will be this, kids. The moon was full and I could feel the pull of life's pulsating pussy. If at all I hear the call, juice brings me like a bull. Hooked by fur, I quickly spur life's pulsating pussy.
top of the order, Thom the World Poet.
Mollie, since you mentioned pussy,
Yes?
okay, these ones are for you.
Oh,
And you may have noticed if you look, there's a little bit of pussy in the room here.
well, I saw that
Yeah.
wandering around.
Exactly, and that's why every February we go up to Salado and do cat poems for cats. You can hear them. Cats are like that, you know. Okay, this is by John Chiadi. I wouldn't. There's a mouse house in the hall wall where a small door by the hall floor where the fat cat sits all day, sits that way all day, every day, just to say, come out and play. To the nice mouse in the mouse house in the hall wall with the small door by the hall floor, and do they come out and play when the fat cat asks them to? Well, tell me, would you? John Chiadi. Excel Kennedy. Here we go. The cat who aspired to greater things. Our cat turns up her nose at mice. She thinks rhinoceroses are twice as nice as mice to chase. But now the mice are every place. In the furnace, in the freezer, in Aunt Edith's orange squeezer, in the cellar, in the cider, in Great Grandpa's best hang glider, in the ginger, in the allspice, in Aunt Flora's King Kong false face, in the stamps, in the chocolate section of my ice cream cone collection. All four of my Uncle Eric's tear their hair and throw hysterics. Father smashes chairs and cusses. At least we've got no rhinoceroses. J. Patrick Lewis said, feline fine. Thom Tiger Cat is noted for his manners and his wit. He wouldn't think of lying, though he doesn't cheat a bit. Oh! Thom never has pretended to be something that he's not. I guess that's why we like him and why he likes us a lot. Good. Working. Elizabeth Coatsworth, The Two Cats. I'm very good friends with both our cats. I've known them since they were kittens, and one is little, one has big paws, and their names are Midget and Mittens. But sometimes at dusk when we're driving home and come on the cats by surprise, I feel the shiver go down my back, facing their burning eyes. Carla Cuskin, When a Cat is Asleep. When a cat is asleep, there is nothing asleep that is quite so asleep as a cat. She has finished with darting, careening and leaping, and now even the soft air around her is sleeping. By Naomi Shihab-Nye, the Palestinian poet who lives in San Antonio. The Flying Cat. Never in all your career of worrying did you imagine what worries would occur concerning the flying cat? You are traveling to a distant city. The cat must travel in a small box with holes. Will the baggage compartment be pressurized? Will a soldier's footlocker fall on the cat during takeoff? Will our cat freeze? You ask these questions one by one in different voices over the phone. Sometimes you get an answer, sometimes it doesn't. Now it's affecting everything you do. At dinner you feel nauseous like you're swallowing at 20,000 feet. In dreams you wave fish heads, but the cat has grown propellers. The cat is spinning out of sight. Will he faint when the plane lands and the baggage compartment soundproof? Will the cat go deaf? Ma'am, if the cabin weren't pressurized, your cat would explode. And spoken in a droll, impersonal voice, as if the explosion of cats were just another statistic. Hugging a cat before departure, you realize again the private language of pain. She purrs, she trusts you, she knows little of planets or satellites, black holes in space, or the weightless rise of fear. Last one, by Roland Wallace, Feline. Locked up inside, I've been watching spring come on for weeks now, when one day my owner opens the door and I slip out, quiet and flat as a shadow. I am no more than the slight breath of my passing, a gust of wind in the grass. I blend into the hedge and watch the shrubbery flutter, the branches crackle and spark, and oh, I am graceful. I am sly. Safe in my leafy disguise as I watch the days go by. I'm so attentive I can sense the ants and beetles going on about their hard business, the joy of the spirea dancing, the dandelions spreading their delicate messages, the plum tree conjuring its blossoms. Now confident and slick, I preen from tree to tree mysterious, pouring myself out of myself like water. I'm a butterfly, a grass blade, a plum blossom, a bee, I leap, I shine, I fly in the dangerous air. I know I could live here gentle and fierce forever. And then the crows unmask me. The grey jays cry me naked. And my owner arrives. His hands full of promises and pain and brings me down. Now we're back in the house, safe with the tamed oak and maple behind these predictable walls, watching spring angle gracefully away from us on soft, impossible pawns. Who would like these cat poems to take home? Cat poems, pussy for you. Pussy for you. Who wants? Who wants? Who want? Who want?
I got my book.
Ah, it's a beautiful thing. So thank you for being. Long live us.
Very amusing.
Ho, ho, ho! Can't stop.
Can't stop. Now everybody knows in a second life we'll come back sooner or later, as anything from a pussycat to a man-eating alligator. Now you may think my story is more fiction than it's fact, but believe it or not, my mother dear decided she'd come back as a car. She's my #1 guiding star. A 1928 Porter, that's my mother dear. She helps me through everything I do, and I'm so glad she's here. My mother the car, my mother the car, my mother the car. Thank you. Well, Magic Jack has left us. I think Scott is out there somewhere. There he is.
Yes.
Scott Vanya.
It's Argentina.
Huh?
It's Argentina, not Chile.
Oh, I shouldn't have done it earlier.
Just a minor joke.
It's Texas chili.
Chili minors.
Ah, yeah, very good.
I lived in Chile.
Did you?
Really?
Is it cool?
Winter went up with summer.
Yeah.
This struck me earlier. I thought my parents were really big into films.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I think in some instances it was a good idea. In some instances it wasn't. I saw Through a Glass Darkly when I was about 11.
bad idea.
Yeah.
I saw Black Orpheus around the same time too. That was probably an okay idea, which I'll get to in a second.
Right.
Now I'll get to it now.
Right now.
It struck me today that we live in sort of a distrustful society where people are counting on their cell phones or their laptops or their iPads or whatever to bring them peace and something to count on. And God forbid your internet service should go out because people totally lose it. They want to be able to count on their AT&T or whatever.
Yeah.
If you need something to count on, just know that tomorrow morning the sun's going to rise and it's going to keep doing its fucking thing. Whether Orpheus sings or not, it's still going to do it. When I was around that same time, I saw the Ingmar Bergman Film Festival, which is a pretty cool thing to do when you're a 12-year-old. My mom and I used to go to River Oaks movie theater in Houston and watch double features together. My dad was working as a pipe fitter, and he spent most of his time working, extra shifts and stuff. She and I would go and sit, and she would sit. I've never seen anybody watch a movie like her. She'd sit with her purse in her lap and not move for 2 hours.
Devotion.
And I'm like squishing and squirming trying to move around my chair.
Yeah.
But that's probably where I got my musical background, because we saw all the great musicals. And I just sent a note to Louise the other day at Freddy's that said, I can tell why my life is beginning to feel like a Lerner and Lowe production.
Oh.
And it's because she sings all these great songs.
Yeah, you do.
We need more music in our life, but not the kind of music that you listen to on the stereo or on your iPhone. You just flat out singing in your car, make up stuff.
Yeah.
Jesse said I should start to sing, but I haven't quite got up the gums.
You will.
And I have no idea if I could ever be in tune. The only song I know I can't play the guitar to. I know 2 songs, Three Little Birds by Bob Marley and Homeward Bound. And if I really get up the gumption, I'll sing Homeward Bound at some point. But right now I'm just loving this hard guitar piece. And this is sort of sad that there are only so many good movies you can watch on VHS, and then you don't get to buy from Goodwill anymore. I've run my limit. I've seen all of them. There's not much else they're putting out. My father did, however, find a copy of Gunga Din.
Wow.
In like 1937.
Is that black and white?
Black and white. Douglas Fairbanks Jr. Oh, I know what I was going to say.
Yeah.
One of the films that did stick with me was Wild Strawberries.
Yeah.
So if you get a chance, you've seen it. That's a good film. It also was where, at that time period, I grew really fond of Peter Weir.
Oh, yeah. Good movie. Lots of ways.
David.
Oh, man. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Thom. I mean, Thom. Scott, sorry. Oh.
Souls, baby. Whoop souls.
You're all alike.
Yeah, right?
You're all alike. Well, you talked about wanting to make up songs while you're driving. Well, I can't make up poems on the spot like you and Thom can, but
You remember all the songs.
but just making something up out of thin air is a different thing. But if you know the form of the blues, you can do that. Several years ago, I used to babysit for children of a friend of mine, and I would drive down the highway and make up blues songs about the baby brother. His name is Geordie Campbell. You know, my name is Geordie Campbell. I cry the whole night long. My name is Geordie Campbell. I cry the whole night long. If I cry any longer, someone will strike the gong. So that's all you have to do. You repeat the same phrase 3 times, and then there's a little punchline to it. It's a little advice there. Well, now it's time for our own Benjamin Franklin.
Benjamin Franklin, the man, the legend.
The man, the living legend,
The living.
David Lester Young.
Yeah.
Dum, 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 dum. Don't do it in front of a speaker. To be Austin. To be or not to be an Austin artist. Inside the heart of Texas, sharing creativity, wherein individual talent that germinate within the core composition of clear artistry. So unique it blossoms spring minds alike, this Austin atmosphere of crystal insight. To be or not to be this Austin star, sparkling bright adrift the stage of histrionics, that elocution of harmonics in universe inheritance that lays deep inside the soul's evocative resonance, to exist beyond the shell, to be an artistic destiny. To be or not to be. Duo songbirds in love. When 1 + 1 levitates Austin's duet harmony upon Texas heartbeats, two-step in life together. To heal together within this fresh air rejuvenation of Austin atmosphere, where 2 as 1 must reveal a spring-spirited Austin so alive inside germination. The American Austin atmosphere. To be an American pollinating a heart of Texas, to be a blossom in Texas, an Austin atmosphere bouquet, to be found alive in Austin, within this communicative open-air spirit where America heals within an Austin American family, hand to hand as neighbors. Arise in America to be Austin inspired in American atmosphere, to be Austin atmosphere that germinates minds into fruition. Writer, you say you were a poet, a thinker of words, feeling the peaceful present melting into who you are. Looking into your heart, feeling it cry in its tenderness. You said you were an author, a novelist of observations, expressing yourself on paper, merging reflection exponentially, looking into your creativity, creating music of loving words. You said you were a writer, a wordsmith of inner reaction, fluttering independent of others, sensing the illumination, looking into the fireworks of interactive spontaneity. I say you are a lover, angel of integrity, beautiful creator of interactivity. Spellbound captivator, looking for reactivity of words, blessing others. Thank you.
David. And now the Thom who looks like Scott Vanya, but he's really Thom. And Scott Vanya himself.
This town's got it all. It's got Occupy, it's got Adbusters, WikiLeaks and Wikipedia, smart cars, smartphones, smart meters, smart drugs, silence and sound, beggars and police, car, bus, bicycles and pedestrians. Art and life, truth and fiction, past and present, motion and repose and transition. Categories, alternatives, wind, tile, geothermal, solar, fracking and earthquakes, F1 races and football, submarines, sonar and beach whales, wind turbines, bird migrations, refugees, borders, internment camps, prisons and schools, schools in prison, marriage, divorce, compound remarriage, poverty and a living wage, tax cuts for the rich. But we are space cadets. He dreams blossoms in a world of weeds. Cheap paints lotus in the garbage heap. They see what is not obvious to me. Some say they come from the Pleiades. I say you can't be serious. Oh, indigo children. The canker soul travelers, astral cowboys and girls, rolling up elliptical orbits with music of the spheres. They listen and watch, absorb and witness. 12 chakras later they begin to glow. I believe they are their own space stations, where they will land tonight as anybody's prophecy. Splash down Pacific, Arctic, Atlantic, or in some gentle feather bird's nest bed. Welcome to the warm-up, deep cold spaces. Earth is their place of birth. The stars are in their heads. Innocence to are you experienced? Have you ever been experienced? With symbols, metaphors, mysteries, mythology, lone gunman, glass, grassy knoll, bungled autopsy, half a century later we no longer believe commissions. Governments deal in doctored information, assassinations before and after. As a nation we grew up in 1963. When young Kennedy died, parts of us froze alive. Desire could not grow into anger, lies, Watergate. I did not have sex with that lady. Marilyn's murder had to be swallowed as a suicide pill. Both Kennedys were publicly shot down like MLK and Gandhi to show what happens when you stand up. Now Occupy is a movement without leaders. No one can be intimidated nor suborned, even infiltrated. One lesson learned from official points, even presidents are not immune from bullet points. Love poem to wild rivers. Only freely can you flash your powers to hide aquatic creatures within your thin-skinned waters, to allow the hook of fate to steal from you, to permit bridge and barge over you, to release all what you need you into more, to merge, morph, mutate into shapes, colors, moods, green pool, blue lagoon, transparent creeks, white crest waves. All of these are you, reflection in your waters, our passing face. Narcissus Psyche sees only itself. Elfin, fairy, pixelated fluidities, your diva spirit sings. In every cupped hand we reach into you and take reed, fish, eel, snake, all creation's children, who trust as one true blue planet enough to taste fresh water and to find within that we are made of it. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thom and Scott.
Scott, Thom.
Scott Thom.
It's Scott time. Good time, baby.
Okay. We had a little bit to be or not to be earlier with David. See if I can remember it.
You can do it.
To be or not to be? That is the question. Whether 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take arms against a sea of troubles and by opposing end them, to die, to sleep, no more, and by a sleep to say we end the heartache and the thousand natural shocks that flesh is heir to. 'Tis a consummation devoutly to be wished, to die, to sleep, perchance to dream. Aye, there's a rub for in that sleep of death. What dreams may come when we have shuffled off this mortal coil must give us pause. There's the respect that makes calamity so long a life. For who would dare? Who would fardels bear to grunt and sweat under a weary life, but that the dread of something after death, the undiscovered country from whose bourne no traveller returns, puzzles the will, and makes us rather bear those ills we have and blight others that we know not of. Thus the native hue of resolution is sicklied o'er with a pale cast of thought, and enterprises of great pith and moment with this regard their currents turn awry and lose the name of action. Thank you.
Yeah.
I left out a whole passage there.
You
But
did. Yes, you did.
I'll get it next time I
That
try.
was the hand, not the lip.
That's right. Okay.
Oh.
Champing at the bit once more, Scott Banya.
Scott Spania, yeah. Woohoo.
Yeah, see, that piece starts out great, but then he sort of blows it. I mean, I know what death is. Whether it's because I've done it or because I just know what nothingness is. I don't fear death for lack of knowing what's on the other side. What's on the other side is nothing, which is exactly why I live the way I do. Anyway, Thom and I got into something there that sounded pretty cool.
Yeah.
See if I can get it back. Solo.
Watching Thom on the inside, it was Basha, man, pointing at the moon. People came up and said, "What the heck's going on inside there?" Yeah. So maybe what we really need is a whole English language full of mediocre poets. Not have anybody be anybody better than anybody else. So then all the poets came along and said, "Man, I can be as good as that great guy because he's just as great as anybody else." Oh, the aspirations of an 18-year-old. What the hell? And how long does it last before you realize, man, my song is as good as anybody else's. I can suck a guitar. It doesn't really matter. But I got rhythm. I got soul. And if I knew how to play Homer Bell, I would. Really don't. Oh, God, what I would do for a pick. Hang on a second. This is Paramount Finger Piece. Oh, no, I'm not done yet. I'm just getting started. Okay. Something I wanted to talk about earlier today. I thought about I haven't been writing as much as I'm doing all the Roman stuff. And it's Thom brought this up. Anyway, how many
something that means something to them, that lets them know they are real and they do matter. I want to shout it for the next treetop. I want to shout it, I want to make a flag for poetry. I want to make poetry the national flag. I want to make poetry the national emblem. I want the whole world to do nothing but listen to poetry. Write it, speak it, breathe it, live it, love it. Wouldn't the world be a better place if more people cared about what we were going to say and how we say it? Word choice, everything. Mean what you say what you mean, do what you feel like in your mind. Got it? Maybe it's still raining. Maybe not enough napkins have been written on it. Maybe Barnes & Noble doesn't have a big enough journal collection yet. Maybe we should give them away for free. Maybe the state should take over and give every single child in this country a laptop so they can write what's on their mind.
Yeah, maybe. Curriculum.
Curriculum, yeah.
We may be in for a treat in a few minutes. We might have some new blood tonight to sing in. But first, the inventor of the bifocals, the stove, and the discoverer that lightning is electricity, our own Benjamin Franklin.
Shocking. Yeah.
Shocking. David Lester Young.
Yeah.
She gonna come back?
I think so. After you.
I write what you call poem lyrics. They're not really lyrics, they're just poems that have that kind of repeat. 3-string guitar. Paid for a guitar with 3 strings, scratched and torn over the years. Polished it as a diamond in the rough, replacing worn strings with new ones. In love songs, she started to vibrate like she had aged inside vintage wine, clarity of champagne, country music, so mellow inside musicians' campfire hearts. Upon embers she sparkled adrift songs, where the countryside stills to listen, to hear those musician fingers dance upon her strings, on this fine-tuned weathered guitar. In love strings she started to vibrate, like she had aged inside vintage wine, clarity of champagne, country music, so mellow inside a musician's campfire heart. Seems everyone wanted to play the sweetheart gem, diamond in the rough, but no one could polish her music, like the guitar lover who paid for a guitar with 3 strings.
David Lester Young. Or who would bear the whips and scorns of time, the oppressor's wrong, the proud man's contumely, the insolence of office, the law's delay, and the spurns which patient merit of the unworthy takes, when he himself might his quietus make with a bare bodkin. That was the part I left out before. Okay. Well, I don't know if our mystery guest is going to come back, but for now, let's go to Thom the Oral Poet.
Come on, look at it.
Just sleep through this, because waking up takes lifetimes. Sleeping through centuries, I was Rip Van Winkle. Emerging into Woody Allen's Zelig, Oscar Wilde's portrait of Dorian Gray. Every day for me is Groundhog Day, repeat ad infinitum, Budgerigar brain in a goldfish world. Shopping, distraction, all that glitters, Thanksgiving, Christmas, oh my God. Here comes Baal, here comes Mammon in the Macy's shopping mall. When challenge arises, sleep through this, Practice at fiesta and siesta, snoring during boring lectures. Sleep's balm, remedy, pillow, therapy, softens a glue between all worlds. Everything is gilded in dreams. When you awaken, wars and want, wild willpower rampant in dreams is fairies and unicorns and happy endings, soft, smooth, silver linings. Even Eden has a snake, bite deep, Snow White. I was married, and I tried to break up, but she wouldn't leave me. No, she went with everybody, but she thinks that she's this. Well, I'll tell you the truth. I was married to plastic. You probably have been with her too. You know, you probably drink from her and get that Coca killer and Pepsi killer and. Anyway, I'll just tell you about it. I wanted to divorce her, but she wouldn't leave. How can I store my tears, my medication, my meditations? Pills pop replaced by plastic box, filling up spaces and places which once used to decompose, now bright as yellow, eaten by the last bird on Sesame Street. Plastic coffins, little jars, discarded disposable, Coke, plastic heated sunlight, caramel, pure sugar, diabetes solution, plastic wrap, plastic, chicken fried chicken steak, oil and gas in plastic hoses, toys for plastic children, Ken versus Barbie, G.I. Joe versus plastic armies. Once there was wood, paper, cardboard. Now, bubble plastic wrap, pop, 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 plastic art on labels. You just will not decompose. Vinyl records, glad wrap, shrink wrap, trust plastic, just like that. Got a piece of plastic, trust the plastic, drastic. Baby formula in plastic bottles, start your addictions younger. Plastic remains in you at all times. Inseparable, endless, always, ever. You have become one with all that is plastic.
Thank you, Thom. You know, Beethoven is decomposing.
Oh.
Well, we have some new blood here.
Yeah, new
we have
blood.
a singer.
Singer! Whoa!
Cindy the singer.
Cindy, singer!
Do you need to borrow someone's guitar or just go acapulco?
I think I'll go off for Coco.
Coco, yeah, yo.
Well, this is a surprise. Thanks for having me.
Excellent.
Let's just sing a quick song, I guess.
Yeah, do more.
Yesterday's breezes and long ago's winds ride through me like fire through ice. Constant reminders of days that once were, holding on to visions of the past. Beauty and solstice, bravery and boldness, things that no longer seem to matter. Can we envision the future of peace without poverty or struggles for power? Oh, listen to the sound of the wind come tumbling down. Oh, listen as the wind blows hard and it makes no sound. As the rain comes tumbling down. Thank you.
Oh, more. Here's another one. Lovely. They have
Thank you, Cindy.
Dave open mic tomorrow night too at
Real close by.
Freddy's on South First Street, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's in High Bridge.
And they have there's a poet open mic from 4 to 6, and then the music open mic is from 6 to 9, I believe. Okay.
A lot of stuff going on.
I was going to sing a song, but I will not follow singing. I'll look up a poem when it comes up on my old Kindle Fire here. You know, many a winter I've sat around the Kindle Fire.
It's fun to be a poet.
Keep my poetry warm. I'll do a couple of short ones. Austin Pulse. It looks like a polar bear in a blizzard right now, but it's eating marshmallows, but it's coming up, I'm sure. Try it again here. Oh, this is weird. The device is against me. I'll just sing a song. I sang a song earlier. I often do this act where I sing these 3 songs that were written for movies back in the 60s. This one was from a movie called The Great Race with Tony Curtis. I was going to say Tony Randall, but it was Tony Curtis and Natalie Wood. And even though they did not let Natalie Wood sing in West Side Story, I thought she did very well with this song in The Great Race. They say there's a tree in the forest, a tree that will give you a sign. Come along with me to the sweetheart tree. Come and carve your name next to mine. They say if you kiss the right sweetheart, the one you've been waiting for, big blossoms of white will burst into sight, and your love will be true evermore. They say if you kiss the right sweetheart, the one you've been waiting for, big blossoms of white will burst into sight, and your love will be true evermore. Thank you. That was written by Henry Mancini and the other guy. The other guy whose name I will come up with later. Oh, you know, there are advantages to growing older. You can hide your own Easter eggs. I found the poem. It came up on the old Kindle Fire. Austin Pulse. Ponytails swinging down the hike and bike. Dogtails wag from tethered pups. Guitars twang from shaded coves. All things beat to an Austin Pulse. Even now, despite traffic snarls, in spite of rampant growth, notwithstanding villains of change, the old Waterloo soul remains in the city of the violet crown. I have tagged along for life, half the 20th and more. I have seen much come and go, but the heartbeat of the town I still feel, still detect, still hold. Thank you. Now time again for Scott Vanya.
I needed to hear that one. I just moved back. I'm so disappointed in Austin, but
Wow.
no, you just reminded me. There is still cool parts.
There's places where you can just walk into a place, sit down, listen, and start reading. That's the
There you go.
Coolest
Yeah.
girl in my life is too. I've been here 10, 20 years. Oh, it's not like it used to be. Well, it kind of is.
I moved here when I was 18 back in 89, and I lived here until I was like 31. And then I just moved back, and I'm like, oh my god, I wanted to cry when I saw this. I'm so,
I think on those bumper
they
stickers,
do the same that. I
they
mean,
used to
I'm
say, think globally, act locally. So, for the longest time, I've been trying to make my house local. So, and earlier I thought to sing the opera song. Around my house, before I got divorced, the songs I would sing would be like, "Oh, why are you so angry at me? I didn't do such a bad thing." So you work on the house, you do the opera to get through the day. And then you get divorced and you move out and you work on the kid thing. You say, okay, I'm going to make peace with this environment. I'm going to represent something good and loving and kind to the kids. And it starts to take hold and they become good and kind and loving people. And then it occurred to me to think even more local, which is inside yourself, about peace. And know that you have to make peace with who you are, where you are, when you are, and how you are. We can't go back and I can't go back and be born in the days of Kennedy. I can't go forward and be born in the days of spaceflight. I can't anymore be born tomorrow than I'm born today. So the peace has to be made within, where you can turn the other cheek, where you can accept the ugliness. And I find that beauty is something that's felt. And if you can feel peaceful, if you can feel full of peace, where it overflows out of you, beauty starts happening everywhere. It happens. The siren going by her. It was beautiful. It was karma. She shouldn't even say it. She was saying it.
That's right.
I was on my porch this afternoon in a contemplative sort of mood. My ears were full of good thoughts and complicated thoughts. And heard a bird, and I thought, oh, that's a grackle or mockingbird. And sure enough, he was on my porch. He was any more far away from me than that skull. And then it's funny, I teach my children this story. I've taught my son this for a very long time. Alexander the Great was taught by Aristotle. And his dad, Philip of Macedonia, one day was given a beautiful black stallion. This amazing black stallion. Some of the other kings were very different. And he has a name. Do you know his name?
Something like that.
He was given that horse. And it was in a pen. Nobody could break it. That's princes and soldiers and knights. Climb on it and he would kick it off. Go on. He's such a fierce horse. And so Alex sort of like, Dad, look, sir, can I go try to break that horse? And the dad said, sure, you're the prince. You're the prince, soon to be the heir of Macedonia. Have at it. And I can envision the court's faces sort of apprehensive at best, scoffing at worst. And he proceeded to walk out, grab the reins, pace the horse around a little bit, jump on, and ride him. And of course, huge cheers. Yay, way to go, way to go, way to go. Yay, go get him, tiger, you know. And he climbs up and he walks over to the king, and the king says, well, how did I give you that? You see, he was seeing his own shadow. To me, peace is like that. It's like if you look at peace, it goes away. You have to like look at it out of the corner of your eye. Had I not seen the bird, he would have jumped in my lap. Today I was at Thom's and I was watching a cat walk. Thom said it's a wild cat. So my prayer for the evening tonight would be, let us all ignore any hint of peace. And see just how close it will get to us. Let it sneak right up inside us and come up next to us. Because if we see it, if we look at it, it goes away. It goes away. I don't know how many butterflies in my life I've seen go away. And it was all because I looked at them. So thank you. And thank you, Cindy, for having the courage to talk.
Thank you, Scott. Who was purple and conquered the known world? Alexander the Grape. Who was buried in Alexander the Grape's tomb? Alexander the Raisin. Remember those jokes?
No.
It's time now for our own Benjamin Franklin. Once more, David Lester Young.
Do it, baby.
I've been out of sync.
I'll let you guys know that you do this every Tuesday.
Every Tuesday, except the first Tuesday of the month when that bingo here.
Just have to read the thing.
No, that's fine. No. Well, we need audiences too.
Yeah.
Quite
Yep.
Climbing the mountain, shards of sharp razor blades cutting veins into skeletal frames, bleeding core of shifting shade, worn upon gray contrast negatives, torn inside out twist to churn turns, grains abrasion granulated in adhesion, before aftermath into letter dead ends. When one kneels to nail open void cries, then to arise whole being decapitated, of evil to climb the mountain, within eternal salvation, when one becomes whole. Thank you.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Thank you, David. It's time again for Thom.
Thank you. Good folks.
So last Tuesday, these were the people here. It's a little roll call called Sparkle Stars. Chill and dark as space. Each planet orbits each other. Planet Dan leaving for California. Ajari with his rented camera. Ben Franklin on free speech orbit. Planet Louise on high drama. St. Peter with the moral code, Tall Chris with a short story, Patricia Poem with a new memoir, John Berry with Matilda Garvey, Great Scott opening to every constellation, cameras capturing light songs and poems for blogs and websites in Austin to unfold, song of a warm future on a chill South Austin Taco Maria's evening. How was last week?
It was cold.
It was chill. It was cool. It was cool. I think cool. So, the Odyssey and the Iliad were about ancient Greece, and of course Warwickshire's Francis Bacon went on to pretend to be Shakespeare and idolise, Elizabeth in England. So this is for Austin, the good and bad of Austin. There's precious things here. Hear me invokes your troubadour, reciting lines of ancient Austin pre-Waterloo. When Comanches ranged and Spanish did too, when Barton Springs had a native name and tribes would cleanse and ritually bathe, all pre-Willie Nelson and Jerry Jeff Walker, pre-Armadillo, pre-Liberty Lunch and pre-Vulcan, pre-boom and bust economics, patriarchal politics, talk of trams, trains, bridges across Congress, pre-apartheid East-West Austin, pre-divide North-South development, pre-compact high-rise Californian condominiums. Still, drought and flood, stories and songs around bars and saloons. Now coffee shops and libraries too. Now Little Austin claims it's new, with folk who refuse to allow homeless or a hike and bike trail near their neighbourhood, and give tax cuts to rich, high property taxes to residents who subsidise for-profit enterprises, every acronym in the alphabet, from F1 to ACL to South by Southwest, stealing our roads, parks and library budgets. Little Austin has been displaced by boondoggle lobbyists. So folk move out beyond Austin city limits to Buddha and Kyle, Georgetown, Round Rock, in trust this might reduce their living costs. Yet jobs are few and I-35's gridlock kills you. What else can a storyteller do? Just share his times and rhymes with you and trust that you will share yours too, as you do. There you go. That's it. I'm in love with letter H. It's a silent H, but I'm not silent. It's a Heisenberg and a Heraclitus. Okay, it ain't no horror song. We'll walk these paths tonight to our separate cars. Yours to destiny, mine to unknown stars. Surprise of rain showers, night roads. I do not know where I want to glow. You intuit Atlantis, Lemuria. Say we are all star children just visiting here. All that is natural rises to your touch. Smiles surround you as sensitive. Much depends and relies upon your existence. Each dance forward lifts all levels. So when you see me, stars upon the waters, know that neither name nor number can limit nor define us. Unnamed, we remain stalks in these fields of invisible wheat, as natural and organic as disturbed weather patterns. And when we seek connection, it may be to electric grids as much as free speech, when every heaven seems to be within our reach. I can't do this without you. Everybody has to be somewhere. I'd rather be with you. Not even the same space-time continuum, more an ongoing conversation whereby you speak, sing, write, and I respond to you, or vice versa. You smile, as if disputing this quintessential truth. Truth is, there are very few who have both time and energy. World crises drain them daily, family needs, wounds that bleed, a million distractions creep into our bucket list as we realise we have a hole in it. Outflows, plans, intentions, schemes, dreams, memories, income, appointments, schedules, lists, absolute priorities. This is not one of these. It's just a tiny ant flag petition to your consciousness to affirm all you are and do, and to keep the sun shining where you are, and each night to wish upon your favourite star.
Thanks, Thom. Well, we're winding down for the evening. We have maybe 10 more minutes, so we'll go through the order to Scott and David, and then we'll have, as we always do, ask Thom to sum up the evening, and then I'll say goodbye to everybody. You may have noticed this when you perform and you think you've done just fantastically, and you get applause and people come up to, oh, that was so good, you know, and then you want to recapture that moment the next time, and it dies, you fall flat.
Oh my God.
But be that as it may, I'm going to try this again.
Okay.
Last night at New World Deli, I was in great voice, and two different people came up to me and said, oh, that was wonderful. And this one young woman who's a singer-songwriter, I love your vibrato, and I like your style. And oh, so great. And then I sang, well, those were songs from my musical that I sang, and then later I sang this song that I wrote with Ron Kewen, who at this very moment is hosting a poetry open mic in Round Rock at Star Company. And we were at New World Deli one time and said, you know, maybe we could write a song together. So I came up with some lyrics, emailed it to him one evening. I think it was a Sunday evening. The next morning, he emailed me 3 MP3 melodies played out on his guitar.
Wow.
And I chose one, and we had a song.
Yeah.
He said, oh, that is so sad, but he tells me that he does sing it in his concerts from time to time, so I'm really proud of that. It's called Separate Roads. Do what you need to do. I cannot go your way. You and I want different lives, and I cannot make you stay. You go your way and I'll go mine. The time has come to part. We split and go down separate roads, but I cannot split my heart. Separate roads, separate lives. It's time to say goodbye. You no longer stand by me, and you cannot tell me why. Here we come to the great divide. We may never meet again. Still in all I can't help but mourn all we had back then. Separate roads, separate lives. It's time to say goodbye. You no longer stand by me, and you cannot tell me why. Oh, won't you tell me why? Why can't you tell me why? Thank you.
Beautiful.
Thank you. And now, once again, Scott the Vanya. well, we're coming up on a quarter till, so we need to head out. Anyone who wants to help us wrap up cables and things for Oscar here at Maria's, please stay for another couple of minutes. It won't take long. Okay, well, to sum things up for us, as always,
Oh, okay.
is Thom the World Pod and his accomplice, Scott Vanya.
I feel like robbing the Batman.
We ain't robbing no one.
Laugh for your...
I knew him, Horatio. I love infinite jest of his definiteness. It goes like this. One bird defines the sky. One star, one starlight. The way it is, it doesn't really matter the numbers, the quality of consciousness connection. So it was on the 17th of November 2013 at Maria's Taco Express. The skin above the skull started to sing, to levitate everyone and everything. And it wasn't just the bare bones of the dance, it was a conversation in the air, response there, talking about the murder and assassination of a young Camelot, talking about the times we live in and the times we don't, talking about sweet little Austin and the great big California condominiums, talking about the times we're living in. And on the 17th of November 2013, we say not goodbye, but hello to a community. Thank you for being here.
Isn't that the 19th?
Yeah, I'm just out there.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Thom. Thank you, Scott. Thank you, David, and all the other poets who were here tonight. And Cindy, who was here earlier singing for us. It was great. Thank you, Maria's Taco Express. Thank you, Oscar, for helping us set up as always.
Yeah.
Good night, and we will see you next week.
Woo, woo.